Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 14 based on novel. So let's start. Like a surging tide, wave after wave of boundless yuan power radiated across the spacious platform. The yuan power squeezed the air, creating low and deep humming noises, a scene that shook one's the hearts and soul. The two people on the platform looked at each other, as their gazes gradually turned fierce. An atmosphere of mutual hostility quietly enveloped the platform. Bang! This face-off only lasted for an instant, before a cold glint flashed within Su Yang's eyes. Stamping the ground, an after-image remained at his original position, while his body mysteriously disappeared. His speed was already at a level where ordinary people would find it difficult to follow with their eyes. Vigorous yuan power swelled around Lindong's body. He gazed at Su Yang, whose figure had disappeared, and his eyes narrowed faintly, before his body suddenly strangely leaned sideways. Bang! A dark grey hand that was brimming with an exceptionally powerful force, suddenly whooshed past Lindong's ear. As the gale swept past, even the air was smashed apart, creating a low and deep explosion sound. As the wind brushed past his ear, Lindong's right hand shot out at lightning speed. He grabbed that wrist, and his shoulders leaned to one side, his arm trembling as a tyrannical energy instantly gushed out. As the force tilted, the figure that appeared behind Lindong was flung, and viciously smashed towards the ground. Crack! However, as the figure was about to smash head first onto the ground, a dark grey hand suddenly made contact with the ground. An overbearing force instantly smashed the ground to dust. As his two hands made contact with the ground, his body spun. His legs drew vicious arcs as they sped towards Lindong's head like meteors. Bang! Lindong's expression remained unchanged. His hand clenched into a fist, which rumbled out and directly hit the tip of Su Yang's foot. A violent force erupted, as the fist defended against the formidable kick. At the same time, Lindong's right leg had abruptly flung out. It headed straight at Su Yang's throat like a sharp knife. When Lindong was about to hit Su Yang's throat, the latter's elbow had strangely tilted downwards all of a sudden, preventing this tricky attack from going through. However, the immense force still made him fly backwards. The tip of his feet pushed off the air while he flew backwards, causing him to float in the air. At this moment, Su Yang's expression was gradually turning grave. Cries of admiration rang out from the surroundings of the platform. The previous exchange between the two was practically purely barehanded combat. Furthermore, each move was extremely ruthless and aimed at the opponent's vitals. A few of the sharper individuals were able to see from this exchange that the two on the platform clearly possessed extremely rich combat experience. Furthermore, their attacks were very ferocious and vicious and were completely unlike those of indecisive individuals. From this exchange, it seemed that they were quite evenly matched. At the GU clan seats, the members of the GU clan, who were anxiously watching the fight, secretly breathed out a sigh of relief. From the looks of it, Lindong was indeed rather capable. Decisive attacks and viciousness, the pale-faced GU Yuntian secretly nodded his head while giving his praise. His strength was comparable to Su Yang. From the looks of it, Lindong was actually able to stand toe-to-toe with Su Yang, and this made Yuntian relax a little. With this strength, Lindong had the qualifications to replace him. However, it's still too early to determine outcome, Gu Mengqi said in a soft voice. Gu Yuntian nodded his head. He knew very well that this fight had just begun. Su Yang's trump card had yet to be revealed. Therefore, no one here knew exactly who would emerge as the victor in this fight. Ha ha, brother Lindong is able to be invited by the GU clan to be their external helper. You are indeed not weak. Within the arena, Su Yang stood in the air, and lowered his head to look at Lindong. A smile appeared on the grave-looking face as he spoke. Brother Su Yang is also not bad. Lindong's hand slowly clenched tightly. Su Yang was not only stronger than Mo Dao by one level, but was even comparable to Yuan Kang when he had activated the spirit emblem. However, the current Lindong was similarly much more stronger than he was when he had crossed hands with Yuan Kang. However, I've said before that I'm going to win this fight. Su Yang faintly smiled, before slowly extending his hands. Dark grey light flowed on his slender arms. Extremely dangerous fluctuations were faintly discernible as they radiated out of him. Black Demon Hand. A soft voice rang out from Su Yang's mouth. Subsequently, boundless dark grey light suddenly erupted from his hands. The light rapidly gathered on his hands, and seemed to form dark grey layers. These dark grey layers covered his hands, making him look extremely weird. Crack! As these strange layers covered Su Yang's hands one after another, extremely sharp bone spikes started growing on their surface. From afar, it looked akin to a demon's arm, mighty and full of destructive power. As the dark grey light started to settle down, a wisp of grey chi flashed past Su Yang's face. His figure appeared in front of Lindong like a spectre, as a simple punch was ruthlessly thrown forward. Bang! As the fist flew out, vigorous yuan power swept out like a wave. A strange, ear-piercing and ghastly scream was faintly discernible as it rang out, and seemed to pierce one's very soul. Feeling the might of Su Yang's fist, Lindong's eyes faintly narrowed. With a clench of his hand, a gigantic black tree trunk appeared. After which, he swung his arm, and the tree trunk violently clashed against Su Yang's fist. Sparks shot out explosively, as metallic sounds rang out. Violent energies that could be seen with the naked eye immediately rippled outwards from the point of contact, as numerous cracks instantly appeared on the ground. Bang bang! When Su Yang saw that his tyrannical attack had still been stopped by Lindong, his forehead wrinkled faintly. However, he did not show any signs of retreating. Instead, he forcibly closed in on Lindong, sending two fists rumbling forth. They tore through the air, causing fierce and overbearingly fist winds to envelop Lindong's body like a storm. However, in the face of Su Yang's aggressive attacks, Lindong did not show any indications of evading. He knew very well that they were both very experienced individuals. If one side were to fall into a disadvantage in this exchange, he would be restrained by other parties' attacks. Therefore, when the tyrannical storm-like fist winds descended, the black tree in Lindong's hands instantly transformed into a gale as boundless yuan power poured into it. Black light blossomed on the surface of the tree, as it violently smashed against those fists. Loud metallic sounds resounded continuously across the platform like firecrackers, as the two figures clashed at close quarters. As violent gales swept outwards, it made the hearts of the onlookers jump. Yet another vicious clash occurred. Lindong and Su Yang both retreated several steps. Wherever the soles of their feet descended, the ground was instantly smashed into powder. Barely after Su Yang had stabilized his body, his figure shot out once again. Dark grey light abruptly swept out from his hand. Black Demon Hand, Bona Rhoda. A low and deep roar rang out from Su Yang's mouth, before a fist blasted forth. Grey light seemed to blot the skies, before transforming into streak that pierced through the void. An astonishingly erosive force filled the streak as it mercilessly blasted towards Lindong. Great desolate imprisoning heavenly hand. Lindong also sent a palm out. The space behind him shattered, as a desolate aura emerged. In the next instant, a gigantic palm imprint, over 1,000 feet wide, furiously swatted down onto the grey light streak. Bang! Bright and resplendent light erupted within the arena, as the frightening force instantly caused gigantic gorges to extend outwards on the vast platform. Dust rose from the ground, causing one's vision to become slightly unclear. A figure slowly floated into the air. Su Yang watched as the distant dust scattered. A slim figure still stood tall and straight, and Su Yang could not help but narrow his eyes. This is not enough to defeat you, huh? Su Yang pursed his lips. He never imagined that his powerful attacks were still unable to do much damage to Lindong. The latter's strength had far exceeded his expectations. Such a troublesome opponent, as expected, I have to spare no effort. Su Yang looked at Lindong, and softly sighed. In the next instant, his 10 fingers came together. Dark red blood essence flowed out from his fingertips before they streaked across his body. The blood stains left on his body formed an extremely strange blood rune. That is Upon seeing this spectacle, Ji Yumingqi and the rest could not help but narrow their eyes, as their fists slightly tightened. A hoarse voice slowly emerged from Su Yang's mouth. In the next instant, the blood rune on his body erupted with red light that seemingly blotted the skies. At this moment, his body started to squirm and wriggle strangely. Black Demon Immortal Body. Bang! Boundless red light suddenly unfurled on the platform. Everyone could see that Su Yang's body was squirming and expanding within the red light. The sounds of flesh being torn apart and rapidly reattaching were exceptionally piercing. However, the eyes of those who understood Su Yang's abilities were completely grave. It was obvious that they were extremely fearful of the latter's transformation. It's indeed the Black Demon Immortal Body. Ji Yumingqi muttered as she gently bit her lip, while gazing at Su Yang's squirming and expanding figure. It's said that the Black Demon Immortal Body was created by the ancient expert Black Demon Old Devil. Not only can this martial art increase the power of the user's physical body, it is even capable of greatly improving the recovery properties of the life chi within the body. Therefore, when one activates the Black Demon Immortal Body, he would practically be immortal, Ji Yuntian said with a grave expression. Now, Lindong will be having a bitter fight. The Ji clan members around him nodded their heads with similarly grave expressions plastered on their faces, before their gazes locked onto the platform. Whether their clan could advance to the next round would depend on whether Lindong was able to triumph in this match. Black Demon Immortal Body. Is this the inheritance that Su Yang obtained? I'm finally able to see it today. From where the Wei clan was seated, Wei Shen observed the situation in the arena. His eyes narrowed as he said with a faint smile. He does indeed have some ability. Beside Wei Shen, Chen Luo was also somewhat surprised, as he observed the figure within the red light that blotted the skies. Su Yang is truly worthy of being the strongest person in the Su clan's younger generation. If he activates the Black Demon Immortal Body, even I would find it would be extremely troublesome. TCH, from the looks of it, the brat does not even seem to possess the qualifications to enter the next round. I've overestimated him. Wei Shen smiled faintly, and nodded his head as he said, no matter. Since he has a grudge with brother Chen Luo, when the martial gathering is over, we'll capture him after he leaves the Ji clan. At that time, he'll be in your hands, brother Chen Luo. Chen Luo gave an indifferent smile. With his hands behind his back, he stared at the arena as he replied, we can discuss this matter if he manages to survive Su Yang. Bang! Boundless red light that pervaded the arena suddenly swept out in all directions like a storm. In the next moment, a deep, low and hoarse roar suddenly rang out from within. As the red light gradually dissipated, a giant figure, standing roughly 100 feet tall, appeared in the arena. The figure was colored dark red from head to toe. From a distance, it seemed to be covered in dark red layers. Red light flowed on the surface of its body, and a trace of strange chi was faintly discernible as it radiated out. On its back, a pair of bat wings were unfurling. The edges of the bat wings were fully covered in sharp dark red bone spikes. At this moment, Su Yang looked akin to a devil from an ancient times, malevolent and vicious. He gave off a demonic aura that blotted the skies. Lindong looked at the transformed Su Yang, as his gaze hardened. From the looks of it, this so-called Black Demon Immortal Body seemed to be a rather powerful body-strengthening technique. I've said this before, I will win this match. Su Yang's eyes turned scarlet red as he roared. He slowly clenched his fists tightly, feeling the seemingly explosive and frightening power within his body, while a maniacal bloodlust rose within his heart. Lowering his head, he looked at Lindong in the distance, as a malevolent smile appeared on his face. As his words faded, the bat wings behind his back suddenly shook, causing crazy winds to instantly sweep out. As the crazy wind swept out, Lindong's pupils faintly contracted. His arms instantly crossed before his body, as green light suddenly erupted. Su Yang's gigantic body appeared in front of Lindong as if he had teleported. The massive fist covered with dark red layers viciously smashed into Lindong's crossed arms. Berserk energies erupted from the impact. The ground Lindong stood on rapidly turned into dust with his feet at the epicenter. Bang! Lindong's body was sent flying by the immense force. Twisting his palm and patting behind himself, the air behind him exploded, helping him disperse part of the frightening force. He shot a look at his arms, as there was an acute pain radiating from them. Immediately, his eyes slightly narrowed. Su Yang's black demon immortal body was indeed rather formidable. Looks like you've also learned a body-enhancing martial art, to actually be capable of blocking my punch. Su Yang looked at Lindong. Although he had been sent flying, he did not appear to have suffered any severe injuries, causing Su Yang to involuntarily exclaim in astonishment. If it were any ordinary person, even an initial profound life stage expert, both arms would definitely be broken by a single punch from himself. However, against such strong attacks, how many times can you endure? Su Yang grinned. His current state was the very embodiment of power. Every movement he made possessed the terrifying power that was sufficient to rupture and shatter mountains. Lindong's hand stroked the area where Su Yang's attack had landed, before slowly exhaling a breath of air. As he raised his head, a smile surfaced on his face. Your physical body and power are indeed not weak, however. As he said this, resplendent green light suddenly erupted from Lindong's body, while his voice slowly echoed. However, you've picked the wrong opponent. Bang! Resplendent green light frantically spread outwards. Under countless gazes, a clear and spirited dragon roar suddenly resounded across the sky. In the next instant, everyone saw an abnormally gigantic figure appearing within the green light that blotted the skies. The green light rapidly dissipated. When everyone saw the gigantic figure beneath the green light, the sounds of people gasping was immediately heard around the arena. Dragon Tribe. Shocked voices accompanied the gasps. Many people widened their eyes in astonishment, as they stared at the gigantic green dragon, which was at least 1,000 feet long, occupying the air above the arena. The tyrannical pressure that only the Dragon Tribe possessed caused several people's pupils to tightly contract. Not the Dragon Tribe, it is a mystical body-enhancing martial art. However, it's capable of allowing its user to train to a level comparable to the Dragon Tribe. This Lindong seems like he isn't your average person. Gu Yintian's gaze turned grave as he spoke out. Gu Mengqi slowly nodded her head, as her beautiful eyes stared at the gigantic dragon floating in the air. That snaking body was bold and powerful, and its dragon scales sparkled with green light. That streamlined figure was practically perfect. A body-enhancing martial art that allows a human to possess a body similar to the Dragon Tribe, Su Yang muttered as his scarlet-red eyes stared at the gigantic floating figure, while his heart trembled faintly. He could sense an extremely dangerous feeling from the figure. Under the gaze of those dragon eyes, which were suffused with green light, the berserk power flowing within his body seemed to be restrained. I want to see whether it's your green dragon body, or my black demon immortal body that is stronger. Su Yang's gaze flickered, before finally condensing into an ominous glint. Red light that blotted the skies exploded, before the bat wings on his back gave a violent jerk. His body transformed into a resplendent ray of dark red light. This ray of light looked exactly like a dark red curved blade. Wherever the light swept past, a black scar was created as space was split apart. Black Devil Slash. The dark red blade glow tore apart space. With a low and deep roar, it cut across the air, heading straight for the green dragon floating in the sky. In the sky, the green dragon calmly watched the incoming blade glow. The expression showing in its eyes was akin to a god looking down on an ant. Green Dragon Heavenly Seat Seal. A gigantic green dragon claw reached out, as boundless green light gathered below it. A dragon-shaped light seal was faintly discernible as it appeared, as a peculiar pressure radiated from it. Bang! The green dragon palm descended towards the dark red blade glow. In the next instant, under the attention of countless gazes, it landed on the dark red curved blade that Su Yang had transformed into. In an instant this entire stretch of the world seemed to turn silent. Bang! However, this silence after all only lasted for an instant. Immediately after, everyone's pupils tightly contracted, as they saw the green dragon claw crushing down like a mountain with a loud rumble. As for the dark red glow under the green dragon claw, it was directly smashed into the earth. Rumble. The entire platform seemed to collapse at this instant. The green dragon claw that had descended seemed to possess the frightening power to suppress the myriad living things in this world. As the square collapsed, the green dragon palm rapidly disappeared. The green dragon occupying the skies rapidly shrunk before finally transforming into a thin figure who stood in the air. The entire area had turned deathly silent. Eyes looked towards the thin figure in the sky, before lowering to see another figure, fully covered in blood, struggling to crawl up from the collapsed platform, before finally falling down powerlessly. The low and deep sound made when his arms dropped onto the crushed rock made the eyes of everyone jump urgently. Su Yang, who had utilized the black demon immortal body, had been unexpectedly defeated by a single strike from the green dragon that Lindong had transformed into. The originally noisy arena had evidently turned much quieter. Unconcealable astonishment filled each and every one of the gazes that looked towards the destroyed arena. No one would have guessed that Su Yang, who had activated the black demon immortal body, would actually be defeated by a single strike from Lindong. At the GU clan seats, GU Mengqi and the rest all watched at this scene in amazement. After a moment, joy that was difficult to hide finally rushed up on their faces. Such tyrannical power, GU Yunqian muttered, as a grave expression appeared within his eyes. He could feel that the claw sent out by the transformed Lindong contained an extremely frightening power. Such a power had practically taken the absolute advantage in the battle against Su Yang. Now, I've indeed some confidence in what he had said. Perhaps he can truly cross hands with that fellow Shintu Ju. GU Mengqi tilted her head. From the face of GU Yunqian, the most outstanding person in the younger generation of the GU clan, she was able to spot a sliver of admiration. Obviously, the strength that Lindong displayed previously had dispelled all the doubts others had of him. No wonder why he could kill Xu Yun. This strength is not bad. Chen Luo's eyes faintly narrowed as he looked towards the collapsed arena, before looking again at the thin man standing in the air. He then pursed his lips and slowly spoke. At this moment, the contempt that was originally present had finally dissipated completely. After seeing that astonishing strike of Lindong, if he still held contempt in his heart, he, Chen Luo, would be the fool. Beside him, Wei Zhen's brow slightly wrinkled as he said, "Where exactly did this brat pop out from? With such strength, he can't be without any reputation in the Heaven Wind Sea region." Wei Zhen pondered for a while, but still could not reach an answer. He could only shake his head and say in a soft voice, "This external helper invited by the GU clan is indeed not weak. If GU Yunqian was also competing, our Wei clan would indeed be in true danger this time." However, with just the two ladies, GU Mengqi and GU Yang, it will be difficult to achieve any results. Chen Luo slowly nodded his head. Lindong was the only threat from the GU clan. As for the other two ladies, it was difficult for them to have much of an impact. In this kind of competition, depending on Lindong alone would not save them from a desperate crisis. After all, he could only win one match, unless... When his thoughts reached this point, Chen Luo broke into laughter and shook his head. Although Lindong's strength was indeed not bad, he was still far from being able to reach that level. He had indeed overly estimated the latter. In the air, Lindong lowered his head to look at Su Yang within the collapsed arena, whose aura was now rather dispirited. His hand slowly rubbed his right arm, which was currently in a state of numbness. The green dragon-like tattoos that were originally swimming under his skin had already faded at this moment. Currently, following the rise of his strength, the various mysteries of the green heaven materialized dragon skill were progressively unearthed by Lindong, like the green dragon heavenly seat seal that he had just displayed. Nothing could stop the frightening power that could suppress the all-living creatures. However, the drain it had on him was exceedingly terrifying. What it consumed was quite peculiar, as it did not consume Yuan power, but the green dragon-like tattoos created by Lindong. The current Lindong was able to create 4 of these light tattoos, and they existed separately in his 4 limbs. This was the source of his power. At the same time, it was where the very essence of the green heaven materialized dragon skill was located. The most important reason why his physical body possessed such tyrannical brute force was most importantly due to these green dragon-like tattoos. Previously, in unique devil region, Qingxi had shattered space to help him. That attack was the Green Dragon Heavenly Seat Seal. However, the attack that he had used was multiple levels above Lindong's. For the current Lindong, a single use of the Green Dragon Heavenly Seat Seal would consume one Green Dragon Light Tattoo. Therefore, if he was to fight with all of his strength, he could at most display it 4 times. After which, he had to recreate more Green Dragon Light Tattoos. Furthermore, if he wished to reach Qingxi's level, Lindong estimated that he would need to create over 1,000 Green Dragon Light Tattoos. At that time, with a single swat of his hand, even a profound death stage expert would be smashed to death. The third fight, Jiyu Clan, Lindong's victory. While Lindong was sighing due to the overwhelming power of the Green Heaven materialized dragon skill, the Shinto clan elder had shot over once again from nearby. He first shot a peculiar glance at Lindong, before announcing in a deep voice. Following his announcement, joyous cheers erupted from the Jiyu clan seats. As for the Su clan, they had become somewhat silent. Subsequently, several Su clan disciples shot out, landed on the collapsed platform, and supported Su Yang up. "Thanks for letting me win, brother Su Yang." Lindong slowly descended, and cupped his hands together toward Su Yang as he said. Su Yang wiped off the blood stains at the corner of his mouth. Sending a bitter smile towards Lindong, he replied, "Brother Lindong's strength is tyrannical, and it was not wrong that I've lost. Looks like the Jiyu clan is gunning for the champion position this time. The final battle for the defense of the tower will likely be somewhat spectacular." Lindong chuckled. He naturally knew that what Su Yang was referring to Shinto Ju. As his thoughts reached this point, he faintly raised his head, and looked towards the half of the ancient stone tower at the mountaintop which could be seen, as interest started to rise in his heart. He did look forward to seeing exactly how outstanding was the ability of the individual that was dreaded by the outstanding young experts of the 5 great clans. After sending off Su Yang as he left supported by people with his eyes, Lindong turned around, and returned to the Jiyu clan seats. Upon seeing him return, those Jiyu clan disciples immediately gave way. The gazes they sent towards the former had some admiration and respect within them. The doubt and suspicion that was present earlier had completely vanished. "Brother Lindong, it's been hard on you," Jiyu Mengqi said, while smiling sweetly. Her gentle appearance was rather moving and alluring. Lindong chuckled, before turning his head towards the lively square and said, "Next up should be the competition between the Wei clan and the Song clan, right?" "Yes," Jiyu Mengqi replied, while nodding her head, before continuing, "However, the Wei clan's strength is tyrannical. Defeating the Song clan should not be hard for them. If the Wei clan wins, we will encounter them in the next round." Upon hearing this, Lindong could not help but to turn his head towards the direction of the Wei clan. He saw that Wei Zhen and Chen Luo were staring at him with playfulness on their faces. These two are indeed somewhat hard to deal with, Lindong muttered. He could sense that Wei Zhen and Chen Luo were likely even stronger than Su Yang. These two had the qualifications of breaking through to the advanced profound life stage in 1 or 2 years. Jiyu Mengqi bitterly smiled, and nodded her head. If Jiyu Yuntian was able to fight, and with the addition of Lindong, they would not fear the Wei clan at all. However, given the current situation, even if Lindong displayed his impressive power, their chances of victory was still very low. Within the square, following the end of the fight between Lindong and Su Yang, the Shinto clan elder announced the start of next round of fights. This time, the battle was between the Wei clan and the Song clan. Although the exchange between the two clans was brilliant on a whole, nothing unexpected occurred. Facing the two powerhouses, the Wei clan's Wei Zhen as well as Chen Luo, although the Song clan had done their best, other than Song Tai who managed to endure a dozen rounds at the hands of Wei Zhen, before being defeated, the other two fights ended in complete defeat. This 3-0 scoreline caused an uproar in the entire audience and allowed the Wei clan to smoothly advance to the next round. When he heard the Shinto clan elder announce the results, Lindong felt 2 gazes shoot towards him. Faintly raising his head, his gaze intersected with Wei Zhen's and Chen Luo's. From the eyes of the two, Lindong was able to feel strong provocation, as well as hostility. Lindong's face remained calm as he met the provocative gazes of the two. His slender fingers slowly intersected, as he shot a glance at Jiu Mengqi and Jiu Yang, whose eyes were filled with worry. This did not seem to be a good battle to fight. This video will end here.